Welcome to Wave 3 Listens Live. Thank you so much for tuning in. As you heard from Brian Good, the weather not only has been hot this summer, but it can be very volatile. We're going to talk about that topic today with Kevin Wharton, who is with Davis Restoration and Remodeling. Kevin, welcome to the show. And today, now we'll field all of your calls. If you want to talk about remodeling your home, sprucing it up a little bit, of course, Kevin is the expert. But Kevin, we're also going to talk about when these storms move in, there's ways you can prepare your home, prepare your family, and we'll talk about that as well. Now, in the news lately, thunderstorms, of course, in the summer you could have tornadoes, flood damage, etc. We'll talk about all of those things. And if you call us today, ooh, looky here. This is the kind of damage we're talking about. All right, as I said, Kevin, the phone lines are open for any questions.
Right, any questions they want. But yeah, today we're going to talk about thunderstorms, not just your property, but there's a lot of things you can do to your family. Getting ready, preparing, and steps to take to minimize damage if something like those were to occur. So yeah, we'll be talking about all that today.
And I think it's important to point out the fact that your company is already responding to some thunderstorm damage that has happened yesterday due to lightning.
Yes.
So this is something that your company does, and I would think that qualifies you as an expert.
Well, I hope so. Yeah, we're 24/7. So when the thunderstorms rolled through last night at 5 o'clock, you know, my guys have been out all night working with the fires. We had several lightning strikes that started fires in residences, apartment complexes, and those kind of things. So yep, we're there trying to help those people out.
And I think, I feel for you because, you know, I laughed, but it's really, there's nothing funny about it. A lightning strike on your home. And it's got to be tough for your guys who go out there, you're trying to help these folks, and they have been traumatized.
Yes.
I mean, you think about their home, this is one of probably their most valuable investment, and you've got to kind of calm them down and say, here's the way it's going to work, here's what we're going to do here.
Most people experience one, maybe two catastrophic events in their lifetime. And to their house, their property. That's the next to their children and spouse, that's the most valuable asset they have. We see them on a daily basis. So part of what we do, you have to not only be contractor, restoration guy, but you have to be, like we said earlier, psychologist. You have to be able to deal with all the emotions that are involved in that, and we have a very good team put together to help do that. We actually have people who just hold the hands of the homeowners. That's all their job is to calm them down, get them to a position where they can think, start to make decisions, and start putting their life back together.
And because of our weather forecast today, Brian Good, and yesterday, thunderstorms are #1. Now we're going to talk a little bit about floods, and of course those definitely will take place here. But let's talk about thunderstorms. To be prepared, how do you prepare your home, your family? What do you recommend?
Your home, thunderstorms are basically, without a better term, the perfect storm. There's usually wind, there's usually a lot of water, there's usually a lot of lightning, so you've got every bit of your structure and personal being affected. You've got electricity to worry about. You've got your structure to worry about. You've got the safety of your home, of your family to worry about. Property, move everything outside close to the house, because a flying picnic table can do a lot of damage to other property. Prior to the storms, look at the trees around your house. Make sure that any limbs that are rotten, loose, falling, especially when you get ice storms like we have here, a lot of tree limbs can be up in a tree but be damaged to the point where they're not going to come down, but a good stiff wind, a good thunderstorm can knock those down. Typical home maintenance, your chimney caps, make sure they're secured good. It's not stuff that every homeowner can get up and do, but have those things checked out and looked at. Drainage around your house, when you start talking about the water from a thunderstorm. Make sure your downspouts. One of the most common basement flood problems we see next to sump pumps is where lawn care companies or you're mowing your own yard and you knock downspout diverters off and that kind of thing. That water is not diverted away from the foundations, goes straight down in through the cold joint into the basement, and all of a sudden you've got a water loss in your basement that you have never had before, didn't expect. So just those kind of things to prepare yourself, and safety kits. Quake.org, there's a lot of different websites on the internet that you can get emergency preparedness kits that tell you how to get ready for those kind of things. So, pay attention to your weather radio. A lot of people rely so much on phones, cell phones now especially, that very few people anymore have weather radios in their house. I recommend a radio with a NOAA weather radio so you can at least get the updates and weather, because everybody who receives and broadcasts is susceptible to downtimes. So you got to be prepared for those kind of things. knowledge is most of the game.
And
if
I've
you
got
know
to tell
about
you,
it, then you can get away.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because Kevin Harned and our team of meteorologists, we just talked to Brian Good, get the Wave 3 weather app. I'm telling you, it's really valuable for you. Okay, you know something I'm amazed by, and I was wondering about your thoughts on this. I'm amazed, and I know it's not really exclusive to this part of the country, but the specificity or the focal point of wind shears. You can have someone, you know, two houses right next to each other. One of them is untouched, looks like there wasn't even a storm, and the other one is just devastated.
Yes.
Do you find that case a lot?
All the time. I think back in April, out in the Fern Creek area, you know, one house was literally taken from its foundation and slammed back down where the second story went into the first, and 2 doors away, there's no damage.
Wow.
So it's very highly likely. And that, you know, a lot of people like to watch storms. You know, they'll go out and stand in their garage door and watch. One of the worst things you can do. And one of the rules about lightning and thunder is the 30-30 rule. If you can't count to 30 seconds after you see the lightning before you hear the thunder, you're in harm's way. 30-second that's what they call the 30-30 rule. So if you see lightning and then hear the thunder and it's 15 seconds, you should be in your safe place, either in the basement, you know, if you're on a single-story house, inside a bathroom, interior walls, in the bathtub is good because they're usually cast metal. Those kind of things away from those areas. You know, that 30-30 rule is good to remember.
Kevin Wharton, Paul Davis Restoration and Remodeling. Very good information.